Today, let's talk about a different kind of strength. Not the loud, forceful kind that demands attention, but the quiet, centered strength that knows when to be silent. There's a power in silence that speaks louder than words ever could. It doesn't argue, it doesn't defend, it simply exists with a deep sense of knowing. Silence is often misunderstood as a form of weakness or submission, but in truth it can be one of the most powerful responses we have. When we remain silent in the face of negativity, criticism, or judgment, we're exercising a strength that goes beyond words. We're making a choice not to engage in a way that would drain our energy or diminish our peace. Silence in this way isn't passive, it's a conscious, active decision to protect our well-being and keep our focus on what truly matters. When someone directs negativity toward us, our initial reaction might be to defend ourselves or respond to the criticism. This is natural. We want to be understood, we want others to see us in a certain way. But sometimes engaging only escalates the situation, feeding into the negativity and prolonging a cycle that doesn't serve anyone. Responding often gives people exactly what they want: attention, validation, or control over our emotions. Silence, on the other hand, takes that power away. It's a way of showing that we're not willing to be pulled into drama or conflict. Choosing silence isn't about letting others win or failing to stand up for ourselves. Rather, it's about knowing when words are unnecessary and when our energy is better spent elsewhere. Silence is rooted in self-respect. It's a way of saying that we value our inner peace too much to allow someone else's attitude to disrupt it. By staying quiet, we're not ignoring the issue, we're choosing to deal with it in a different way, one that doesn't require us to engage in arguments or justify ourselves. There is a quiet confidence that comes with silence. When we resist the urge to react, we create space for reflection and clarity. In this space, we can separate ourselves from the words or opinions directed at us. We start to see that not everything needs a response, and that not every opinion holds truth or relevance. Silence allows us to maintain a sense of objectivity, to assess whether or not engaging would be beneficial, or if it would simply be an energy drain. By holding back, we signal to ourselves and to others that we don't need to justify who we are. We trust in our own self-worth, and we don't feel the need to seek approval or understanding. Silence is also a form of resilience. It allows us to withstand negativity without letting it penetrate our self-esteem. This kind of resilience comes from a deep understanding of ourselves, from knowing who we are and what we stand for. When we're grounded in this self-awareness, other people's words lose their power to shake us. Silence reflects this inner strength, showing that we can hold our ground without needing to engage in back-and-forth exchanges. Often, people with negative attitudes or harsh judgments are looking for a reaction. They may thrive on conflict, or they may be projecting their own insecurities and frustrations onto others. By responding with silence, we take away the fuel they're looking for. We don't give them the satisfaction of seeing us rattled or upset. Over time, they begin to realize that their words don't have the effect they intended. They may even start to question their own motives as they're left with their own negativity, rather than someone else to focus on. Silence is also a way of showing compassion for ourselves and even for others. When we choose not to respond, we're creating a boundary that protects us from harm, but we're also allowing others the space to reflect on their own behavior. Sometimes silence can be a mirror, reflecting back to others the impact of their actions. Without someone to argue against, they may start to question why they feel the need to judge or criticize in the first place. In this way, silence can be transformative, encouraging growth and change without a single word. In a world that often encourages us to speak up, to have the last word, and to assert ourselves loudly, silence can be a radical act. It's a statement that says, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. It's an embodiment of self-assuredness, of knowing that we are enough just as we are, without the need to seek validation from others. Silence is a gift we give ourselves, a gift of peace, of calm, and of strength. When we practice silence, we're also practicing mindfulness. We're learning to pause, to observe our own reactions, and to choose how we want to respond. This kind of mindfulness builds resilience and self-control, helping us to navigate future challenges with grace and composure. We learn that our silence can say more than words ever could. It communicates that we value our own peace above all else, and that we won't let anyone disrupt it. Ultimately, silence is a powerful tool for self-care and self-respect. It allows us to protect our energy, to maintain our inner peace, and to navigate difficult situations with strength and dignity. Choosing silence is a choice to honor ourselves, to value our worth, and to stand firm in the truth of who we are. In this way, silence truly becomes a source of strength, a way to break through negativity without compromising our own sense of peace and well-being. The need for validation is something many of us carry deeply within. It's that desire to feel seen, accepted, and appreciated by others. From an early age, we are often conditioned to seek external approval. Praise from parents, teachers, friends, or colleagues can shape how we see ourselves, and it can influence our confidence. But as we grow, we begin to realize that this need for validation can sometimes become a burden. When we constantly look outside ourselves for approval, we hand over the power of our self-worth to others, making it fragile and dependent. Releasing the need for validation, on the other hand, is an act of reclaiming this power and finding a foundation within ourselves that is steady, unshakable, and fully independent. Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean that we ignore feedback or that we don't value connection with others. It's about recognizing that the most important validation comes from within. When we rely on others to affirm our worth, we set ourselves up for disappointment and insecurity. People are human. They have their own perspectives, biases, and preferences, which may not always align with who we truly are. When we depend on these external judgments, we risk being influenced by views that may not be in our best interest or that don't reflect our true values and capabilities. Learning to validate ourselves begins with self-awareness. It involves understanding who we are, what we believe in, and what we stand for. When we have a clear sense of our values and our worth, we don't feel the need to be defined by someone else's opinions or approval. This doesn't happen overnight, of course. It's a process of self-discovery and growth. As we deepen our understanding of ourselves, we start to build a stronger foundation of self-trust. We begin to see that our worth is inherent and doesn't depend on external acknowledgement. One of the key reasons people seek validation is because it provides a temporary sense of relief or confidence. When someone else praises us or acknowledges our achievements, it feels good. But if we rely on these moments too heavily, we may start to feel empty or insecure when they're absent. By learning to validate ourselves, we develop a more lasting and sustainable sense of self-worth. We become our own source of encouragement and support, which strengthens our resilience and independence. We no longer need to chase compliments or approval because we recognize our value regardless of what others might say. Releasing the need for validation can be liberating. It frees us from constantly measuring ourselves against others' expectations or opinions. Instead, we begin to make choices based on what truly resonates with us, rather than what we think will earn approval. This allows us to live more authentically, pursuing paths and goals that reflect our true desires and purpose. When we stop looking to others to tell us who we are, we can focus on becoming the person we genuinely want to be. Letting go of validation doesn't mean we become indifferent to others or shut down to feedback. Rather, it means we approach feedback from a place of openness rather than need. We can listen to others' perspectives, considering their insights thoughtfully, but ultimately we make choices based on our own sense of what feels right. This balanced approach allows us to grow and learn from others without being dependent on their approval to feel complete or capable. Sometimes releasing the need for validation also means accepting that not everyone will understand or agree with us. It means recognizing that other people's reactions are not a reflection of our worth. People come from different backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences, and they may not see things the way we do. This is normal and it's okay. We don't need everyone to agree with us or to like us. When we release the need for validation, we're giving ourselves permission to stand firm in our beliefs and our path, even if it's not always understood or accepted by others. As we practice self-validation, we learn to celebrate our achievements, embrace our strengths, and accept our imperfections. We become more compassionate and gentle with ourselves, recognizing that we are worthy of love and respect just as we are. This doesn't mean we stop striving for improvement or growth. It means we approach these goals from a place of love and self-worth, rather than a place of lack or insecurity. We are no longer motivated by the desire to prove ourselves to others, but rather by the joy of personal fulfillment and growth. Releasing the need for validation can have a profound effect on our relationships as well. When we no longer seek approval, we free others from the responsibility of affirming us. We're able to connect with people from a place of authenticity and mutual respect rather than dependency. We're not asking others to fill a void within us, which allows for healthier, more balanced relationships. We give others the space to be themselves, and we create space for ourselves to be who we truly are. Ultimately, the journey of releasing the need for validation is about coming home to ourselves. It's about learning to love and accept ourselves fully without relying on anyone else to do it for us. It's about realizing that we are complete, whole, and worthy exactly as we are. When we stop chasing validation from others, we find an inner peace and confidence that cannot be shaken. We become the source of our own happiness, grounded in the knowledge that our worth isn't something we have to earn, it's something that has been within us all along. Reclaiming personal energy is about recognizing where our energy goes, understanding how it affects us, and choosing to bring it back to ourselves. We all possess a unique and powerful energy that fuels our lives, guiding us through our daily activities, goals, and interactions. However, much of this energy can be unknowingly spent on things that don't serve us, whether that's through overcommitment, worrying about others' opinions, or constantly trying to manage external circumstances. By reclaiming our energy, we're making a conscious decision to prioritize our inner well-being, redirecting that valuable resource toward what truly aligns with us. Often we find ourselves feeling drained or exhausted, not because of the physical tasks we undertake, but because of the emotional and mental energy we expend on unproductive thoughts or situations. Every time we worry about what others think, replay past events in our mind, or focus on things outside our control, we're giving a portion of our energy away. While some of this is natural, if left unchecked, it can deplete us, leaving us with little energy for ourselves. Reclaiming personal energy starts with awareness, becoming mindful of where we're placing our attention and how it makes us feel. This awareness is a powerful first step, as it helps us identify areas that need change. Setting boundaries is a key part of reclaiming our energy. Boundaries are essential for protecting our time, our mental space, and our emotional well-being. They help us filter out activities, relationships, and obligations that don't align with our goals or values. When we say yes to too much, we spread ourselves thin, leaving little energy to care for ourselves or pursue the things that matter to us. By setting boundaries, we are taking control over how we spend our time and ensuring that we're only investing energy where it truly serves us. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, showing that we honor our own needs and aren't afraid to protect them. Another essential part of reclaiming personal energy is letting go of unnecessary attachments. Often we become attached to certain outcomes, relationships, or even ideas about who we think we should be. These attachments can weigh heavily on us, consuming energy as we try to maintain control or force things to happen in a particular way. When we release these attachments, we free ourselves from the pressure of needing things to go exactly as planned. We learn to trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to, and that we don't need to control every detail. This release of control is liberating. It brings a sense of peace and allows us to conserve our energy, focusing on what we can influence: our own actions, thoughts, and responses. Reclaiming energy also means managing our mental space. Our thoughts can be one of the biggest drains on our energy, especially when we allow negativity or doubt to take over. Worrying about the future, ruminating on the past, or engaging in self-critical thoughts consumes valuable energy and leaves us feeling depleted. By practicing mindfulness and focusing on the present moment, we can reduce this mental clutter and bring our attention back to the here and now. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. We develop the ability to choose thoughts that uplift us and let go of those that drain us. Nurturing self-care practices is another essential way to reclaim our energy. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for maintaining our mental, emotional, and physical health. Simple practices like getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, spending time in nature, and engaging in activities we love all contribute to replenishing our energy. When we make self-care a priority, we're ensuring that we're giving ourselves the support we need to thrive. This also means saying no to things that don't contribute to our well-being, recognizing that we can't pour from an empty cup. Our relationships also play a significant role in our energy levels. Surrounding ourselves with supportive, uplifting people helps us recharge, while being around negative or draining individuals can quickly deplete us. Reclaiming our energy may involve reassessing certain relationships and distancing ourselves from those that consistently bring us down or drain our spirit. This doesn't mean we stop caring about others, but rather that we choose to invest our energy in relationships that are mutually supportive. By prioritizing healthy connections, we create a more positive environment where we can give and receive energy in a balanced way. Finally, focusing on personal growth and purpose can be incredibly energizing. When we engage in activities that align with our passions or contribute to our personal development, we tap into a source of energy that is both inspiring and sustaining. Pursuing goals that resonate with our true self gives us a sense of meaning and fulfillment, which naturally replenishes our energy. When we're aligned with our purpose, we feel a steady flow of motivation and enthusiasm, which helps us approach challenges with resilience. Reclaiming personal energy is an ongoing journey. It requires self-awareness, a willingness to make changes, and a commitment to honoring our well-being. By being mindful of where our energy goes and making conscious choices to protect it, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and strength. We begin to live from a place of fullness rather than depletion, finding balance between what we give to the world and what we keep for ourselves. This reclamation of energy empowers us to live authentically, to pursue our passions, and to connect more deeply with ourselves and others. It allows us to create a life that feels aligned, vibrant, and truly our own. Teaching through non-reaction is a powerful approach that conveys lessons not through words, but through calm and measured behavior. In a world where emotions can often flare quickly, reacting impulsively or negatively can escalate situations rather than resolve them. Non-reaction is a form of inner strength, a calm and steady response that shows others that situations and emotions can be handled with grace and resilience. By practicing non-reaction, we can become role models, teaching others to manage their emotions, solve conflicts, and approach challenges from a balanced perspective. In doing so, we foster an environment where clarity, understanding, and thoughtful responses are valued over impulsive actions. Non-reaction doesn't mean ignoring problems or avoiding confrontation. Rather, it's about responding with intention instead of reacting with raw emotion. When we practice non-reaction, we pause and allow ourselves to fully process what's happening before we respond. This creates a space between stimulus and response where we can decide how best to handle the situation. In this space, we have the opportunity to observe our own emotions, recognize any judgments, and release tension that might cloud our thinking. This thoughtful approach not only keeps us calm, but also allows us to make decisions that are more likely to bring positive outcomes. Through non-reaction, we teach others about self-control and emotional regulation. When others see us remaining calm in the face of adversity or criticism, they learn that it's possible to handle even challenging situations without losing composure. This is especially true for children or those who look up to us. When young people observe us managing our emotions calmly, they internalize the idea that they too can learn to navigate difficult emotions without resorting to anger, frustration, or fear. They come to understand that self-control is a strength, one that enables them to make decisions based on thoughtfulness and care. Non-reaction can be especially transformative in moments of conflict. Disagreements are a natural part of human interaction, but they don't have to be damaging. When we meet conflict with calmness and non-reaction, we diffuse the intensity of the situation. Our composure sets the tone, signaling that the conversation doesn't need to be combative. By staying calm, we invite others to meet us at a place of understanding rather than aggression. Our non-reactive approach allows both parties to communicate more openly and to seek solutions rather than becoming entrenched in defensiveness or blame. When we practice non-reaction, we also model patience. In a fast-paced world where immediate responses are often expected, patience can be a rare but highly valuable quality. By remaining non-reactive, we show that it's okay to take time to reflect, to think things through, and to respond with clarity. Patience, like calmness, is contagious. When others see that we're not rushing to judgment or reacting hastily, they too may feel encouraged to slow down and think before they respond. This creates a ripple effect where interactions become more respectful, thoughtful, and intentional. Teaching through non-reaction is not only about maintaining calm, it's also a demonstration of inner confidence. When we don't feel the need to react strongly to every comment or situation, it shows that we are secure in ourselves. We don't feel the need to prove a point or defend ourselves unnecessarily because we know our own worth and perspective. This silent confidence speaks volumes as it teaches others that self-assurance doesn't come from external validation or from winning arguments, but from a strong inner foundation. This quiet strength can inspire others to develop their own sense of self-worth, one that doesn't rely on external validation or the need to react to every provocation. Another key lesson that non-reaction teaches is resilience. By choosing not to react impulsively, we show others that we're capable of handling difficulties without being overwhelmed by them. Non-reaction doesn't mean we're unaffected by what's happening. It means we're choosing to process it in a way that doesn't drain our energy or lead to regret. We're teaching that challenges, setbacks, and criticism are not end-all be-all events, but rather experiences that can be met with a steady, resilient mindset. Resilience isn't about never feeling hurt or upset. It's about knowing how to manage those feelings constructively, allowing ourselves to bounce back with strength and wisdom. Non-reaction is also a powerful way to foster empathy. When we remain calm, especially in situations where others might be acting out of frustration or fear, we're able to understand their perspective more clearly. We can see beyond their immediate behavior and recognize the underlying emotions that might be driving them. By doing so, we teach others the importance of empathy, that by staying grounded, we can connect more deeply with others and better understand their challenges and emotions. This empathetic approach helps to bridge gaps in communication and build stronger, more understanding relationships. Through non-reaction, we encourage others to take responsibility for their own emotions as well. When we choose not to react to negativity or anger, we're subtly sending a message that each person is responsible for managing their own reactions. We show that just because someone else may be upset, it doesn't mean we have to mirror that feeling. This teaches others to take ownership of their emotional responses and to recognize that how we feel is a choice we make, not something dictated by others. Ultimately, teaching through non-reaction creates a sense of inner peace. When we're not constantly reacting to the world around us, we have more energy and clarity to focus on what truly matters. By remaining non-reactive, we create a sense of calmness within ourselves, which positively affects the people around us. They, in turn, are inspired to find their own center, to recognize the strength in calmness, and to approach life's challenges with a steady heart and mind. Non-reaction is in many ways a form of silent teaching, one that demonstrates the values of self-awareness, patience, resilience, and compassion. Through it, we teach others the art of peace and self-mastery, qualities that enable us to live with authenticity, respect, and inner strength. Honoring your individual path is a profound journey of self-discovery and acceptance. Each person's path is as unique as their fingerprint, shaped by their dreams, experiences, choices, and inner calling. In a world that often pushes conformity, it's easy to feel pressure to follow someone else's path, to measure success and happiness by standards that might not align with our own. Honoring your individual path means listening to your inner voice, embracing your uniqueness, and having the courage to pursue a life that reflects your true self, even when it doesn't fit the mold. This journey is not about perfection or rigid expectations. It's about accepting your strengths and limitations and recognizing that your path is deeply personal and ever-evolving. One of the most important aspects of honoring your individual path is learning to let go of comparisons. Constantly comparing ourselves to others drains our energy and pulls us away from our own journey. The paths of others may look tempting or appear to lead to success and fulfillment, but those paths are tailored to their experiences, values, and aspirations. When we focus too much on what others are doing, we lose sight of our own needs and desires. Embracing our own path requires us to shift our focus inward, paying attention to what feels right for us rather than what is celebrated by society or social media. By letting go of comparison, we give ourselves the freedom to move at our own pace, trusting that our journey is valid and worthwhile, even if it looks different from others. Another key part of honoring your path is learning to trust your intuition. Intuition is a powerful inner guide that connects us to our true desires and helps us make decisions that align with our authentic selves. In moments of uncertainty, it can be easy to doubt our instincts, especially if they lead us in a direction that defies conventional wisdom. Yet, intuition often knows what the rational mind cannot grasp, offering insights that steer us toward our true path. Honoring your path means acknowledging and acting on these inner nudges. even when they don't always make logical sense or follow traditional routes. By trusting our intuition, we allow ourselves to walk a path that feels right and meaningful, rather than one shaped by external expectations. Living authentically also involves embracing the challenges that come with forging your own path. The journey of self-discovery is rarely straightforward. It involves moments of doubt, setbacks, and sometimes isolation. When we choose a path that diverges from the norm, we may face misunderstandings or judgments from others who don't see the world the way we do. But these challenges are also opportunities for growth, teaching us resilience, self-reliance, and inner strength. Each obstacle we face on our path has the potential to bring us closer to ourselves, helping us to understand what we're truly capable of. Honoring your path means seeing challenges not as reasons to quit, but as valuable lessons that enrich your journey. Part of honoring your individual path is learning to appreciate and celebrate your uniqueness. Too often we try to fit into roles or identities that don't reflect who we truly are, afraid that our authentic selves might not be enough. When we do this, we dilute our potential and rob the world of the unique gifts and perspectives that only we can offer. Honoring your path is about recognizing and valuing your strengths, quirks, and even your imperfections. It's about understanding that the qualities that make you different are precisely what make you powerful. By embracing your individuality, you allow your true self to shine, which not only fulfills you but also inspires others to embrace their own unique journeys. Honoring your path also means being patient with yourself. Society often emphasizes speed and efficiency, pushing us to reach milestones quickly or to constantly be achieving something tangible. However, personal growth is not something that can be rushed. It unfolds in its own time, revealing itself in small steps and gradual realizations. Honoring your path means understanding that it's okay to take your time, to move at a pace that feels right for you, and to allow yourself the grace to grow without harsh deadlines or pressure. By giving yourself permission to progress slowly, you're acknowledging that your journey is valuable regardless of how long it takes or how many twists and turns it involves. Cultivating self-compassion is another essential aspect of honoring your individual path. On any journey, there will be times when we make mistakes, experience failures, or feel unsure of our direction. These moments can lead to self-doubt or criticism if we're not careful, but by approaching ourselves with compassion, we create a safe space to learn from our experiences without judgment. Self-compassion reminds us that it's okay to stumble, and that each misstep is simply a part of the journey. Honoring your path means treating yourself with kindness, recognizing that growth is a process, and allowing yourself to be human. Lastly, honoring your path involves continuously reconnecting with your values and passions. Our paths are not set in stone. They can change and evolve as we do. Regularly checking in with ourselves ensures that we're still aligned with our inner values and helps us make any adjustments needed to stay true to ourselves. Life is full of new experiences, and each one has the potential to shift our perspective or inspire new dreams. By staying open to these changes, we're able to grow and adapt in ways that keep us connected to our authentic selves. Honoring your path is a dynamic process, one that requires self-reflection and the willingness to course correct when necessary. In honoring your individual path, you're choosing to live a life that feels true to who you are. You're affirming that your journey matters and that your unique perspective has value. This commitment to authenticity is one of the greatest acts of self-love and empowerment, as it allows you to create a life that resonates with your deepest truths. In doing so, you not only find fulfillment, but also contribute to a world that celebrates individuality, diversity, and the richness that comes from each person walking their own path. Unbreakable inner peace is the foundation upon which a fulfilled and resilient life is built. It is a state of calm that remains steady, regardless of external circumstances or challenges. Achieving inner peace doesn't mean eliminating all sources of stress or hardship from our lives. Rather, it is about developing the ability to remain centered, balanced, and grounded amidst the inevitable ups and downs. It's about cultivating a deep sense of trust and harmony within ourselves, so that no matter what happens around us, we can remain unshaken. Inner peace is not a destination, but a continuous process, a way of being that we must actively nurture every day. It's the silent strength that supports us through difficult moments, the inner resilience that helps us bounce back after setbacks, and the calm presence that allows us to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than fear or anxiety. One of the first steps toward unbreakable inner peace is learning to let go of things that we cannot control. Life will always present us with circumstances and events that are beyond our influence. Whether it's other people's actions, the choices of society, or the unpredictability of the world around us, we must come to terms with the fact that we cannot control everything. Letting go of the need to control these external factors allows us to stop fighting against what is happening and instead focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, reactions, and emotions. We begin to understand that peace comes from within, not from controlling or changing our surroundings. Accepting that we are not in charge of everything creates space for calm and freedom, allowing us to release the constant tension that comes from trying to micromanage every aspect of life. Another essential element of unbreakable inner peace is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, anger, or resentment only serves to weigh us down and disrupt our sense of tranquility. Forgiveness is a powerful act of release. It is about letting go of the emotional burden that comes from past wounds, whether they are caused by others or ourselves. Forgiving doesn't mean excusing or forgetting the hurtful actions. It simply means choosing to free ourselves from the grip of negative emotions that prevent us from experiencing peace. By forgiving, we allow ourselves to heal and move forward without the weight of past grievances, making room for healing, compassion, and serenity. Equally important is the practice of self-compassion. Inner peace cannot flourish without self-love and kindness. It is easy to be hard on ourselves, especially when we face failures, setbacks, or disappointments. We often expect perfection, demanding that we always perform at our highest level. However, when we are constantly critical or harsh with ourselves, we create an internal environment of stress and judgment. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one who is struggling. It means acknowledging that we are human, that we will make mistakes, and that we are worthy of love and forgiveness regardless of our flaws. By practicing self-compassion, we create an internal atmosphere that fosters peace, acceptance, and a sense of worthiness. Mindfulness and presence are also essential practices for cultivating inner peace. When we spend too much time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we rob ourselves of the peace that exists in the present moment. Our minds often wander to things that are outside our control, creating unnecessary stress and anxiety. Mindfulness invites us to return to the here and now, to become fully engaged in the present moment without judgment. Through mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts, feelings, and sensations with awareness and curiosity without becoming overwhelmed by them. This practice of staying present helps us to quiet the noise in our minds, allowing peace to naturally arise. When we focus on what is happening right now, rather than rehashing past events or anticipating future problems, we tap into a deep well of calm that is always available to us. Letting go of negative thinking is another crucial aspect of cultivating unbreakable inner peace. Our thoughts have a powerful impact on how we feel and experience the world. When we constantly engage in negative self-talk or pessimistic thinking, we create a mental environment that is far from peaceful. Negative thoughts breed stress, anxiety, and unhappiness. To maintain inner peace, it is important to challenge these negative thoughts and replace them with more balanced, positive ones. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It means consciously choosing to focus on the positives, the lessons, and the opportunities for growth that exist in every situation. By shifting our mindset, we change the way we perceive the world, which in turn transforms our experience of it. Another powerful tool for fostering inner peace is establishing healthy boundaries. Many people find themselves overwhelmed, stressed, and drained because they do not set limits with others or themselves. Healthy boundaries allow us to protect our energy, prioritize our well-being, and preserve our peace. Without boundaries, we risk being pulled in too many directions, leaving us feeling resentful or burnt out. Learning to say no when necessary, setting clear expectations, and maintaining a balance between personal and professional life are essential for nurturing inner peace. By respecting our own limits and communicating them clearly to others, we create an environment where our peace can thrive.